Hello, I'm Alyssa Ardhya, speaking to you on behalf of the IB Digital Squad at the University of Central Florida. I'm joined today by a special guest from the CWEP team at Career Services. We're going to talk a little bit about the College Work Experience program at Lockheed Martin. So without further delay, I'm pleased to introduce Miss Erica Bodin from UCF Career Services.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for being here. So first, would you please tell us what the CWEP program is? I understand it to be a work study opportunity for UCF students to get hands-on experience at Lockheed Martin, but can you tell me more about the program and Lockheed Martin itself?
Yeah, absolutely. It's called the UCF Lockheed Martin College Work Experience Program, and we call it CWEP for short. And the program allows undergraduate and graduate students to gain real world work experience and as well as to gain abilities that are really relevant to both their academic and their career goals. And we do that by matching them with Lockheed managers who are looking for students to train. CWEP is really cool because it's a unique program with a year-round paid opportunities for students, and it teaches a lot of great hands-on learning abilities and gives students wonderful experience for the workforce. And at the moment, we exclusively partner with Lockheed Martin.
Oh, that sounds very exciting. And as a follow-up, I'm curious to know whether there are other similar companies. And you said it's now only exclusively to Lockheed Martin?
Yep, just Lockheed Martin right now.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, perhaps there will be other companies providing this kind of opportunity for students in the future then.
We'll let you know as soon as we hear something about that.
So for the Lockheed Martin program, what are the kinds of positions student can take on? Are there any designed specifically for integrated business students?
Yes, there are actually. So in general, we've got 23 job families, and I might explain a little bit later kind of what that means. I know we've got another question maybe coming up about that, but for business majors specifically, there's a couple that I wanted to point out because I know we've been hiring for all of the all pretty much all business majors. But we hire for contracts, for finance positions. Human resources has been a really big one lately. Program planning, and we have a new one actually, program management that was just recently posted.
Wow. Okay, I see. And for other program positions, what majors would be most appropriate?
So to be honest with you, there's not always a clear answer on that. So of course, sometimes a finance manager needs a finance student and it's an easy one-to-one. But we actually have dozens of managers who pull from each of our job families, and each one of them has really unique needs. I always recommend to students that apply that they look for jobs that align with what they want to do in their career, because there's a really good chance that they have skills that align with what a manager might be looking for.
Yeah, that makes sense. Do you have to be in a particular class year, for example, sophomore or higher?
No, actually. So we hire from freshmen all the way to graduation, but I do want to say there are a couple of caveats. So students need to have completed at least one semester at UCF, and they need to have at least 2 semesters left before graduation to be considered eligible for the program.
Oh, good to know. How long would a student be working there in terms of hours per week and weeks per year?
So like I said, a minimum of 2 semesters. We
Okay.
have a lot of students though who, once they get the job, they stay for 2, even 3 years before they graduate.
Oh,
But unfortunately, once graduation comes, yes, students do have to exit the program. But when that time comes around, they're usually pretty well prepared to enter the workforce.
oh, okay, I see. And I also understand that college credit is not offered through this program, but a kind of pay is. So it would be good to understand how that works. Could you provide some detail?
Yeah, absolutely. So plain and simple, CWEP students are compensated for the work that they do on an hourly basis. So for business students specifically, that compensation can range from 11 to a little over $16 an hour, depending on their class standing. Students will work for a minimum of 15 hours a week and a maximum of 25 hours a week. So there's a little bit of flexibility there. And there's also something that recently happened is there's going to be a 12-week period in the summer where students are able to work 40 hours a week. So we have a little bit of full-time option in the summer.
Oh, wow, good to know. I see that the online portal in the Lockheed Martin section of the UCF career website where there's an online job application. However, I'm wondering if there's an interview process, and if so, what recommendations you might have for students to prepare for that interview.
Gotcha. So it's going to be a little long-winded. Just bear with me for a second. So the way that the student applies, they do so like it would be for any other job. Once a student fills out their application, the resume gets sent to a pool for managers at Lockheed to pull from. If a manager is interested in interviewing a student, they reach out to our office and they let us know so we can schedule it. And then from there, if the manager wants to bring the student on board, they again let us know so we can go ahead and extend that offer to the program. In terms of what I might recommend for the interview process, so because it's like applying for a job, I definitely recommend that students prepare for it like they would any other position. So what that means is we send them all of the information they could possibly want about like the department and the job they're interviewing for. So we always recommend that students research the position that they're going to be interviewing for. And we also send them a lot of common interview questions with the intent that they practice those as well. So the more a student practices for the interview, that's pretty much what I would recommend. Is just the more practice that you can get, the better it's going to be.
Okay, I see. And can you tell us if Lockheed Martin has similar cooperative work agreements with other colleges in the area? And if so, how have UCF students stacked up against students from other schools?
Yeah, absolutely. So the short of it is they don't. UCF is the only college with a program like this one in Florida. And a really interesting fact about Lockheed Martin is that they hire more UCF students than any other university in the country. And CWEP is a large contributing factor as to why that is.
Oh, wow, that's really an interesting fact. Do you know what percentage of students in this program go on to apply for or accept jobs at Lockheed Martin after graduation?
Yeah, definitely. So at the moment, it kind of hovers at around 50 to 60% of all CWEP students are offered full-time positions once they graduate. And the rest are it's pretty easy for them to find employment with other large companies, in part because of the experiences that they gained with Lockheed Martin.
And I reckon that that percentage changes from year to year.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But 50 to 60% is a pretty stable estimate.
Okay, and finally, are there any special skills or actions in the program would like to see from applicants that would give them an edge over others towards being accepted?
So in terms of special skills in general, there's not one thing that I could recommend to students to do because managers are looking for all different skills, all different talents. But what I can say is make sure that the resume that you're submitting is the best possible resume that you can produce. There's a little bit of a difference between an unprofessional resume and just like a new resume. And I would just recommend that students have their resumes looked at by somebody in career services or by somebody that they trust, just to make sure that they're putting forth the best possible impression that they can. The resume is the first thing that the manager looks at, and it's a really big contributing factor of why a student might get an interview. So just as much resume help as you can get, take it.
That's great advice. And that should conclude the interview. It was very enlightening. Thanks again for being here, Ms. Bodin.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
If you'd like to learn more about Lockheed Martin, check out the link in the description below. For IB Digital Squad at the University of Central Florida, I'm Alyssa Ardhya, and it's been a pleasure to bring this information to you.